Hello, welcome back to Lovin Sheila, the podcast. We are at episode 25. What a journey, y'all. We've been at this for almost a year. And I must say, it has been the most action packed, eventful year, or 12 months, or 11 months that I've had in probably all my life. So much going on, so much in a sense to shoulder, so much to work through, to persevere through. And earlier today, I took a look back at one of our early episodes, The Strong Black Woman, because I was really identifying with it. I was really identifying with all the weight of having to be strong and having to endure and having to go through some things. And I really was really thinking to myself, um, I've proven myself. I've proven my strength. I have endured. I have weathered storms and whatnot, and I am totally and absolutely ready to lean into my softer and more vulnerable side. And that's where I am right now. I've had enough with the endurance and standing up and whatnot. And of course, there's a time and a place for all of that. There's a time and place for everything, But I think as I enter into this next chapter of my life, I'm here for the softer place, the gentler place. And as I have probably said before, and I'll say it again, I think I've earned it. I've put in my time. I have been a faithful, devoted wife, a devoted mother and daughter, and certainly I've put in 30 plus years in my career, and certainly after all of that, I feel that it's my time and to go into this next chapter. And as I close some doors and new opportunities open for me, I close the doors with a sense of, you know, certainly feeling it's bittersweet. It's not, let me just say, no one gets married with the purpose of getting a divorce, and certainly not me. But I feel like in all things in my life, I have given it that college try, and I have dug deep in my soul and pulled out everything within me, um, through the grace that God has given me. Tried everything that I've known to sustain things, and when you cannot, you have to find peace in the fact that you've given everything you're capable of. And I also say, and I don't even, and he's kind of canceled to me, but in the immortal words of R. Kelly, when a woman is fed up, when you've given everything you feel you can give, and you're just tapped out. I have kind of I entered into that, I'm sure, and that's not saying anything negative about anyone. It's just when I dig into my soul and I talk to myself and I evaluate where I am, and I look at the strength and the capabilities I've demonstrated throughout the years, I realize that I have depleted it, and it's a sad place to be, but I guess it's a reality. And one thing that I want to take into 2024 is getting away from the fantasy and dealing with my reality, because it's important. I've spent so much time looking at life with rose-colored glasses and making it appear to be what I want it to be, and like erasing the things that I did not want to be a part of my life. But, just living in my personal fairy tale and making it and designing it to what I want it to be. But here we are in 2024, and it's time for not only me to know who I am, but to walk in it and to deal with my reality and to deal with the hurts, the challenges, the pain, the um, the fear, absolutely the fear of walking into this next chapter, these latter years, um, on my own, and not really knowing what the future brings, but trusting in me and trusting in myself and trusting in what God has revealed to me, and trying to move in that, and I guess shaking the dust off of my feet and getting into this next chapter. And so tuning in to me and tuning in to this next chapter, tuning into the open doors. And like I said, I'm really leaning into my vulnerability. And if you know me, you know, I know that a lot of things over the years I've made look easy, and that's part of my strength. And I know very, very well that God has really been outstanding to me, and He has favored me in all these things. At the same time, it doesn't mean that I'm not human and that I cannot be touched by different things, and that I don't have feelings, and that these feelings and these thoughts, and they require support. If you are part of the tribe, it may seem easy, it may seem like someone fearless, but I'm being honest, and I say that I'm not. I'm done with the mask of just being strong through it all. I will absolutely go through anything that I need to go through to get where I need to get. When I say I'm leaning into the vulnerability, it's saying I'm leaning into the fact that I know along the way I need my tribe. And so I'm saying this to this audience to say, recognize that we all need help. We all need our tribe. We cannot do it alone. We need someone behind us to hold us up, possibly to lean on, whatever, to put our shoulders down and just breathe and have our back for a minute. It is so vitally important, okay? Because we cannot be in full armor and full battle mode and full, uh, battle array at all times. There's got to be a time when you can exhale. There's got to be a tribe that allows you to lean into or lean on or just support you in your time. You know, there's a time for everything, for every relationship. There's a season, and I remember last year, or early in the podcast, I told you, I said, I relied on my brother. It was like, I need you to be my best friend right now. And again, I'm telling them, I'm needing you to be my best friend right now because there's some things that I just need to get off my chest. And so I encourage you all to find the one who will listen. Find the one who doesn't steal your story. Find the one who doesn't make your story their story. Find the one who will listen and give you a shoulder to cry on. Someone who will just support you and tell you that you can do it, and not minimize what you're going through, but really empathize. Okay, so don't minimize, empathize, because just because we all have to do what we have to do, and we go through it looking like we're handling it pretty well. No one knows the battles that you fight when you lay down at night or when you're alone with yourself, So try to be sensitive to those things because, every one of us, as women, men, whomever, we all have our own cross to bear, our burdens to bear. And, I believe God has equipped us to do just that. But at the same time, there has to come a time of refreshing for your soul, because you can get weary if there is no refreshing someone to pour into you. So while you're pouring out, while you're giving all that you can, make sure that there is a place that you are receiving, that you are being replenished, because we all need to be replenished. This cannot just be an export of energy without any exchange of that. And so that's what we need to be mindful of. Like I said previously, we need to know what our emotional supply is. And as I have used quite a bit of my supply to manage and to sustain myself over the last year, there comes a point where, if it's not being replenished, if I'm not being poured into, that it just gets shut down, because now it's survival mode and I'm preserving it to get through. And so, not to be selfish, but at the same time, we cannot be selfless, because when we're selfless, we're not taking care of ourselves. And another thing that I've learned, I used to think that self-care was, going to get my hair done and going to get a facial and getting a massage. These were all like outward manifestations of my care for myself. But true self-care is the time that I pour into myself, knowing myself, understanding my triggers, understanding what makes me happy, what gives me peace, what stresses me out, what makes me fearful, spending time talking through those things in therapy, having someone around who's there to support you and to hear you, someone that you can communicate with and have an exchange of ideas and respect. But I feel like that's part of self-care. And I recall I was talking to Pal, and I told you earlier in earlier episodes, Pal was much more evolved than me. And I remember I was going through some things, and I said, I'm going to get a massage. And I felt like I'm doing something because I'm taking some time for me. This is me in my mind. I'm taking some time for me, and I'm going to get a massage. Forget all that. And I remember her being really unimpressed. I remember where I was on the freeway, and I remember her being really unimpressed with my quote-unquote self-care, because it was really masking the self-care that I needed to do and deal with my life and deal with my situation and deal with different heartbreaks and different disappointments and different things that made me sad and different things that were depressing for me, But at the time I felt like, if I go get a massage or if I go get a facial, I can escape it. But another thing I learned is escapism is not caring for yourself. Because once you escape, once the massage is over, or once the vacation is over, or once whatever is over, you still have to deal with yourself. And so might as well live a life that is present, that is attentive, that is in the moment, and it is internalizing what's going on and reflective, so that you can constantly be in a state of awareness and self-care. And your self-care is not limited to, a trip to the Bahamas or a massage or getting your hair done or getting a facial, because that is just, of course that's what we do to help beautify ourselves, but it's not what we do to maintain and keep our light. Because the more we suppress those things that are bothering us, things that are making us unhappy, they will manifest in our appearance, in ways that we cannot hide, because it cannot be suppressed forever. So just remember that when you're thinking about your self-care, it's far more than those things that we do outwardly. It's about what we're doing inwardly, what we're doing inside, how we're preserving ourselves in that way. And that's one of the biggest things that I learned in this last year, in redirecting my self-care, because now I'm doing therapy every Tuesday morning, regardless of if I feel like anything has happened, if I have something to talk about, from the most minute thing to the grandest thing, I'm talking about it because I need to get it off my chest. And I don't necessarily want to burden my friends with all these little tiny things that I'm thinking or overthinking, but that's why I have my therapy meeting, and we can overthink all my craziness, and I can rant and babble and all that kind of stuff. And but I also have you, this audience, this tribe of folks here at Lovin Sheila, the podcast, where we can share this, we can share together, and we can enlighten ourselves together, and we can grow together. And I love getting your feedback and you sharing with me where you are, and like I share with you every time I come here where I am, what's the latest in my saga, and how I'm approaching it with loving care for Sheila, because that's what I have to do, approach it with loving care for Sheila. The most phenomenal thing to me is the faith walk that I have experienced in this last few months. Is just all the things that are so overwhelming, but yet how we manage to walk by faith, and clearly not by sight, but really having a trust in God and a trust in myself. Like I said last week when I was saying I got you, like how things are just lining up at the appropriate time, but there's a level of trust that we have to have in ourselves, and a level of responsibility that I think we have to take in order to take that walk and take that journey. So another thing I'll go back to early on in Lovin Sheila, I was talking about emotional support, and I remember I was referring to Best Man final chapters, and how Tay Diggs had gone through the separation or pending divorce, and he was depressed, and he was in his room, and his boys came by, and they were just there for him, and that just resonates in my spirit, because I'm sure he was home and he was quiet, and everyone could have assumed that he was fine, but how I appreciate how the friends just came through, and I think that was phenomenal. And I just want us to always remember that, because I think that's what this message today is about. It's just emotional support, and making sure that we recognize the value of it in our life. Not only are we taking care of ourselves, doing self-care, appropriate self-care, we're building our tribe with folks that will see us. And I'm going to go back. Build your tribe with people who see you. Sometimes we have a mask. Sometimes we act like we're stronger than Popeye or whatever. But folks who see you and can penetrate the armor. I was telling a friend the other day, stick with me, okay? On the first response, I may not give you everything you're asking me, but you stay right there and I'll come. But I think it's my own defense mechanism, where I'm like, are you really interested? Or is that just how are you? And let's get to me. But are you really interested? And if you stay right there, I'm going to give you the next layer of it. So remember that when you're talking to your people, your friends, your tribe, stay in there, Let's get to the next level, because real friendship, real support is going to ask those probing questions. The questions, how are you? How did you handle that? What are you thinking? What's on your mind? To try and figure out, try to get to the heart of the matter. Okay, because I think even me, I'm like, oh, do you really care? Do you really want to know? Are you just, is this just, I don't know, a way to get to what you want to talk about? So like I told my friend, stay there, and then I'll give it to you, like just show me. I guess it's like, show me that you care. Show me that you're interested. And I don't know if I spent so much of my life with folks who didn't care or who were not interested truly, that I just learned to function in a way where assuming that people don't care. And so let's just deal with it like that, because that way, guess what? You can't get hurt. But we're opening a new chapter. We're opening a new door. I told you I've been working on this communication and it works. So here I am. I'm communicating. I'm sharing with you what I think has worked for me, and even where I am when I find myself a little shut down. But at least I found a person in my tribe who I have designated like, you're the best friend. You're the one right now. So, do what you have to do to sustain yourself, to keep yourself going, to push through, because we all know in the final mile, when you're just about reached the finish line is when it gets the most difficult. When you're really like getting weary and your legs are about to crumble and you just can't take any more, your mental is getting weak, and everything that you've been training for in this moment is all upon you. And honestly, frankly, I feel a little bit like that right now, because the mental is being challenged, the legs are weak, all that. I'm working on my care, working on my Lovin Sheila. It's being challenged because there's been an all-out assault on you, on your emotions or on your feelings and whatnot. So at the end of the road, when you're almost at the finish line, it's when things get a little more difficult. So lean into your tribe, lean into your friends, get the support you need, take care of yourself, figure it out, spend some time with you, have the hard conversations. Not only are you having hard conversations with others, have the hard conversation with yourself, because that's what's going to help you as you open the new door, as you get to this next level, as you open the new chapter. The hard conversation with yourself is going to get you where you want to be, because then you're going to know yourself. You're going to know what you're trying to do. And you're going to do it based on reality and not wishful thinking or hopes. That's what I want to leave you with today. Lean in. Lean into your happiness. Lean into moving forward. Lean into building better relationships. Lean into the decisions that you've made. Approach them with strength. Move forward with dignity and respect. Stay in your character and love yourself through it. Love yourself through it. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mind, your emotions, your physical body. Take care of yourself. It's all, you're going to need it in this next chapter. You're going to need all that. You're going to need to be in good condition. So that's what I'll leave you with. Lean in, and lean in with real self-care. Lean in with real love for yourself. Lean in with the tribe that's got your back. And that's what I'll stop right there. Don't forget, go to lonewolfbodywear.com. Use the promo code podcast or Lovin Sheila. Get your Lovin Me t-shirt or tank for $10. I want to see you there. Send me a note at shishijjb on Instagram, or even email me at sheilab@lonewolfbodywear.com. Want to hear from you. Let's talk. Let's get together. Let's be a tribe in this new year. Thank you, and I will see you on the next Lovin Sheila, the podcast. Bye for now.